Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today guys, many things to say, many things to mention, from Luis Diaz to Gyokeres, but also Isak and Ekitike. Let's jump into it together. So guys, many movements on the market, busy Tuesday. Let me start with an important story, because what happened yesterday? Monday, Newcastle present an official bid to Eintracht Frankfurt worth more than 70 million euros reported in the media, so more than this, for Hugo Ekitike. So negotiations ongoing club to club from Monday. And also negotiations with the player side. Then what happened in the recent hours is that also Liverpool called to be informed on the situation of Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool always had an interest in the player and he remains one of the options they have in the list. But Hugo Ekitike will be a Liverpool target only if they can't get Alexander Isak. Because at this stage, Liverpool are still trying to make something crazy and special happen for Alexander Isak. It's really difficult, it's really complicated. Newcastle always wanted to keep the player. Newcastle believe they can offer him an important new deal with an important salary in the upcoming weeks. So Newcastle are always trying everything possible to keep the player at the club, but Liverpool want to try. He's always been the dream target, he's always been the top target. What I'm told is that in the recent hours, Liverpool made a direct approach to Newcastle to inform them of the intention to open negotiations for a club record fee for Alexander Isak. So, if Newcastle get Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool really want to try for Alexander Isak. That's the mission for Liverpool. Then, if Alexander Isak will not be available on the market, Hugo Ekitike can be an option not only for Newcastle, who wanted Hugo Ekitike and want Hugo Ekitike not based on what happens with Isak, but in any case. They believe they can play together, and that could be also part of succession plan for the future of the club, but they wanted Ekitike. That's the point. Full stop. Now, if Liverpool are going to be able to make something happen for Alexander Isak, we will see. But for sure, they are trying, making a direct approach to Newcastle for Alexander Isak. Then it's now our Newcastle. They can decide whether to sell or whether to reject. They always say they wanted to keep the player. That's always been the mission. We will now follow the situation and what happens with Alexander Isak, but for sure Liverpool want to try for their dream target with an eventual club record bid. So Liverpool are really intention to try, and they made an approach, direct approach with Newcastle. Then, if they can't get Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike could be an option for Liverpool, while Newcastle are working on the deal, because Newcastle, at the moment, are the only club that presented an official bid for Hugo Ekitike and are in negotiations with his agents and with Eintracht. So let's see what's going to happen there between Newcastle and Liverpool in this story for Hugo Ekitike. But also in this story for Alexander Isak. That would be massive, that would be incredible for Liverpool. They are actually trying, but of course this is in the hands of Newcastle. Newcastle have always wanted to keep the player, promised to the player that they want to offer him a really important new contract with a huge salary. But obviously now is in the hands of Newcastle to decide what they want to do. Because Liverpool for Alexander Isak are trying. So they want to make something crazy happen. That would be very difficult, they know that, but it depends on Newcastle. The approach has been made, otherwise Hugo Ekitike remains one of the options in the list at Liverpool for this summer transfer window, waiting to see what happens with Newcastle, who presented an official bid to Eintracht Frankfurt. So a crazy story, a crazy domino on the market, this one. It's going to be crazy also the situation for the future of Luis Diaz, because today Bayern presented a new official bid for Luis Diaz, 67.5 million euros. Official bid in paper, official email from Bayern to Liverpool. Liverpool immediately rejected. Liverpool are not accepting 60, 65, 67. These numbers are not enough to convince Liverpool to sell Luis Diaz. So that's the answer from Liverpool. Don't forget also Barcelona, because Barcelona remain in contact with the agents of Luis Diaz, but at the moment the deal is very expensive, so not easy at all for Barcelona, not easy also for Bayern. Both clubs remain in contact with the agents of the player, Barcelona and Bayern. They will have more round of talks, but now Bayern are going very big. The official bid has been rejected. Bayern want to attack and try again for Luis Diaz, so they are not leaving the conversation. They believe Luis Diaz can be a perfect signing. But again, Liverpool are rejecting this money, are rejecting these proposals, because they believe Luis Diaz is worth more than this with 2 years left on his contract. So that's the situation for Luis Diaz. Let's see, in this case, what Liverpool will decide to do if new proposals will arrive. And don't forget the position of the player, because the understanding is that Luis Diaz is keen and open on leaving Liverpool in this summer transfer window. That's something that he always had in his mind. You remember in February, March, I was telling you, I expect Darwin Núñez to go, and I still expect Darwin Núñez to go, with Saudi Pro League clubs also pushing. He's waiting for Napoli. He's been waiting for Napoli for weeks, but he can't wait forever, and so it will now depend on Napoli. They're also negotiating for Lorenzo Luca from Udinese, but Darwin can't wait forever, and there is strong interest from Saudi. So I always told you in February, March, I expect Darwin Núñez to go, and I think for Luis Diaz the situation will be interesting, and Luis is open to leaving. So now depends on what Liverpool want to do, because he's still under contract. So that's going to be the crucial part of the conversation for Luis Diaz. A situation to follow for sure in the next hours and days, the one of the Colombian winger with Liverpool, with Bayern, and eventually with Barca, still in contact with the agents of the player, but of course a really expensive deal, so not easy at all. And then, guys, Viktor Gyökeres. Viktor Gyökeres remains a topic to watch in these hours because the agents of the player are still in London. Last night we had reports of the deal on the verge of collapsing. From what I'm told, the conversation is still ongoing between all parties involved, Arsenal, Sporting, agents, to sort the final point, the add-ons in the deal. 63.5 million euros, fixed fee. Now, the agent did everything possible because he's gonna reduce the commission. Arsenal also doing their best by paying more than what they expected. They initially expected 60 million euros plus 10 in add-ons. They are now at 63.5 plus 10 in add-ons. Now Sporting want even more. Sporting want the 10 million euros in add-ons to be very easy, almost guaranteed add-ons, while Arsenal want part of it to be quite easy and part of it to be quite difficult. So the conversation is continuing. The player keeps giving absolute priority to Arsenal. His 5-year contract at Arsenal is ready. Let's see, guys, because the negotiations are taking place every minute in London in these hours, so any minute can be crucial. Let's see how long it will take to find the final solution. For sure, the situation is tense. After Sporting is always requesting for more and more and more in the story, from the agent, from the player, from Arsenal. So once again, putting the deal in a situation when they need to negotiate and renegotiate and renegotiate. But Arsenal are still there. So let's follow the situation. Let's follow what happens. Gyokeres is waiting for Arsenal. At the moment, nothing has collapsed. Nothing is off. But for sure, the conversation continues in London to get to the here we go for Viktor Gyökeres to Arsenal. And so, guys, let me hear your thoughts on all these stories from Isak and Ekitike. It's a big story, a big bomb, and also Luis Diaz, Viktor Gyökeres, and more. Guys, as always, remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel for all the latest, and see you soon here with Fabrizio Romano on the YouTube channel. Remember, subscribe, many things are gonna happen. Ciao!